Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So before I read this, I know I talk, a lot of crap about the bad L.A.P.D. And we know that that's a fact. But I want to give credit where credit is due. I think there are a lot of people behind the scenes that are trying to clean up the trash, if you know what I mean. So clearly there's dirty cops, but I think there are a lot of people behind the scenes trying to clean up the trash. So, this is a different guy. I didn't even realize this. And I want to touch on something later, but I'm going to stop because I'm going completely crazy today. So, January 8th, 2019, posted 6:45 p.m. I don't know why the time is relevant. Gematria. Los Angeles Times. Woman sexually assaulted by L.A.P.D. officers reaches $2 million settlement. I hope they get their karma. Okay. I'm not going to subscribe right now. I don't live in California. LA Times, I would subscribe if I lived there, but I don't. Los Angeles police officers James C. Nichols, seated, and Luis Valenzuela appear in a downtown LA courtroom in 2018 to enter no contest pleas to sexually assaulting multiple women. Let me repeat that. This is back in 2018. To enter no contest pleas to sexually assaulting multiple women, otherwise known as rape, by Cindy Chang. A woman who was sexually assaulted by 2 Los Angeles police officers will receive nearly $2 million from the city, according to an agreement filed in federal court on Monday. Also, too, I think maybe they were on duty, but we'll just keep reading here. The settlement, which needs to be approved by the city council, comes on top of nearly $1.8 million in payouts to 3 other victims, which their lives are never going to be the same, obviously, bringing the total cost of civil lawsuits involving the two officers that got caught, to more than $3.7 million. The officers, Luis Valenzuela and James C. Nichols, are serving 25-year prison sentences after pleading no contest to felony counts of sexually assaulting women, raping. They were taken to jail or using as confidential informants. The L.A.P.D. is supposed to protect and serve, you think? That's their motto, said Don Miller, an attorney for the victim in the latest settlement, identified in her lawsuit as Jane Doe. These 2 officers abused their power and used it to sexually assault women. Sounds like Scientology. Although, in Scientology, they're really, really into minors. And then they blame the victim and tell the young girls that they're out 2D, that it was their fault for pulling it in. The victim was arrested. The victim was arrested on suspicion of a narcotics violation in December 2009, according to the lawsuit. I've heard so many stories like this, it's unbelievable. They love to take advantage of people in a lesser situation. As they drove her to jail in their unmarked Volkswagen Jetta, Valenzuela and Nichols asked her to become a confidential informant, saying they would protect her and help her get out of jail, according to the lawsuit. The officers who worked undercover narcotics then took her to a secluded location where Valenzuela forced her. I'm going to just reword it and say what it is. I'm so sick of this. Where Valenzuela raped her in the back seat. The lawsuit said he returned the drugs that had been confiscated from her, ordering her not to tell anyone about the rape. Well, finally they got it right. Because she would not be believed, according to the lawsuit. Where have we heard that one before? Later that month, the lawsuit said Nichols sexually assaulted her while giving her a ride home from court. Raped. The two officers threatened to send her to jail or label her a snitch if she told on them, the lawsuit said. Which, of course, labeling her a snitch would make her a real target. I hope they get theirs in prison. That's what I hope. And I just want to interject real quickly. And I'm no expert, but I've read a lot of books. And I've read a lot on these things. A lot of the women in those situations were sexually abused as children. And that's why they're so screwed up. Some of them get on drugs. Some of them turn tricks because it's all they know. And then they continually get re-victimized. I don't know if she's turning tricks. I'm just saying, like, a general statement. This has really just destroyed her, Miller said. She sees a police officer and is terrified. It's PTSD. Rob Wilcox, a spokesman for the L.A. City Attorney, did not comment on the settlement, pointing out that it is not yet final. Miller represented two of the other women who sued the city alleging they were sexually assaulted by the two officers that were caught. One woman received a $575,000 settlement, another $750,000, and a third $450,000. That seems like a lot of money, you guys. It seems like it. But if you take into effect, one, how expensive living in Los Angeles is, number one, and then you take into account any kind of physical conditions that they have, they're going to have mental health issues for the rest of their lives because of this. PTSD, they need good counseling. That money can go really, really fast. They actually, in my opinion, deserve way more money than that. That's why I always have an issue when people say, oh, they took the money. Miller said the payout was probably higher in the latest settlement because the assaults were worse and because the officers had already been convicted in the criminal case. Valenzuela and Nichols were charged in 2016 with sexually assaulting 4 victims in a 3-year period beginning in 2008. We all know that those are the ones that they got caught for. Targeting young women who were vulnerable, as I said, they had been arrested for drug crimes and feared prosecution. These kind of men are the lowest scum of the earth. aside from them supposedly being cops. Often one partner served as a lookout while the other attacked a victim in the Jeddah. Cowards. Cowards. The officers each pleaded no contest to 2 counts of forcible rape and 2 counts of forcible oral copulation last February, each receiving 25 years. The plaintiff in the latest settlement was among 3 victims who testified at a preliminary hearing in November 2016. I've heard so many stories like this. So many stories like this. On their way to jail, the officer stopped at a secluded alley. She said on the witness stand, Valenzuela said there was something she could do to avoid being locked up, which is a lie, too. She had sex with him, raped, in the back seat while Nichols stood guard outside. That's not consensual sex, so that means rape. I was in a dark alleyway with a guy with a gun, she testified. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. Okay, that's it, guys. I'm really on a roll tonight, so peace.